What's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to be deleting every player over a 90 overall in the NBA. Starting off here, we'll go over each team and see which player they're going to be losing or players. For the 76ers, they lose Joel Embiid. Bucks lose Giannis. Bulls actually don't lose anybody, so they should have a really solid team going into the season. Cavs don't lose anybody. Celtics lose Jason Tatum. Clippers lose Kawhi Leonard, so the team that they are playing with this season. The Grizzlies don't lose anybody. Hawks don't lose anybody. Luckily, Trae Young is a 1 overall off being a 90. So Hawks, another team that should be really good. Heat lose Jimmy Butler. Hornets don't lose anybody. Jazz don't lose anybody. Kings don't lose anybody. Knicks don't lose anybody. The Lakers lose LeBron and Anthony Davis. They're going to be struggling this season. Magic don't lose anybody. Mavs lose Luka Doncic. Nets lose Durant, Harden, and Kyrie Irving. They are probably going to be one of the worst teams this season. Nuggets lose Jokic. Pacers don't lose anybody. Pelicans don't lose anybody. Luckily, Zion in 89. Pistons don't lose anybody. Raptors don't lose anybody. Rockets don't lose anybody. Spurs don't lose anybody. Suns lose Chris Paul and Devin Booker. They both got bumped up to a 90 overall this year. At the end of last year, they're both 88, so a little unfortunate for them here. Thunder don't lose anybody. Timberwolves don't lose anybody. Trailblazers lose Damian Lillard. Warriors lose Steph Curry. And then lastly, Washington Wizards, they don't lose anybody. And bang, I have deleted every player that was over a 90 overall in NBA 2K22, but you probably are wondering, we got two 90s at the top. When we go into my NBA, Trae Young and Zion got bumped up to a 90, but since they're actually both 89s on the normal roster, they're going to get to stay on your teams. So lucky you, Hawks and Pelicans. But we're going to simulate through an entire season without all these 90 overalls and see which team comes out on top. Leave your comment down below who you think it's going to be. Personally, I think the Bulls are going to do pretty good. They're probably one of my top picks. The Jazz didn't lose anybody, so they should be another team that is really good. Well, let's find out what happened. To the All-Star draft, and we have Paul George and Bradley Beal as our two captains. Team Paul George, we got Westbrook, Cat, Randall, and Zion starting. And as reserves, we got Donovan Mitchell, Ben Simmons, Zach LaVine, Sabonis, Brandon Ingram, Porzingis, and Thaddeus Young. That's kind of surprising that Thad Young made it on there. Going over to Team Bradley, we got Rudy Gobert, Bam, Trae Young, and Jaylen Brown as our starters. Chris Middleton, DeAndre Ayton, Vucevic, SGA, Clint Capella, De'Aaron Fox, and LaMelo Ball as the reserves. A lot of first-time All-Stars on that team. And Paul George ends up being our MVP. Averaged 28.2 points, 6.9 rebounds, 4.1 assists, 2.2 steals. So a really good season for him here. We got Evan Mobley as our Rookie of the Year. Kelly Olynyk wins Sixth Man. Jonathan Isaac, Defensive Player of the Year. Tyrese Maxey, Most Improved. And Willie Green of the Pelicans, Coach of the Year. The Pelicans ended up going 62-20. That is crazy. I did not expect that. All NBA first teams, we got Paul George, Westbrook, Randall, Sabonis, Bam. Second team, we got Bradley Beal, Ben Simmons, Zion, Jaylen Brown, and Cat. And then our third team, we got Donovan Mitchell, Trae Young, Tobias Harris, Thad Young, and Vucevic. I'm still surprised that Thad Young made it on all of these teams. I guess he's one of the best players on San Antonio now. He's only an 81 overall. This is our all-defensive first team, our all-defensive second team, and then here are our rookie teams. Checking out the standings in the East first, it's the Atlanta Hawks with the best record, 58 wins on the season. I guess they didn't lose anybody on their team. Same with the Chicago Bulls, no players lost. Celtics lost Jason Tatum, but they still do very well. Knicks didn't lose anybody. Hornets didn't lose anybody. Bucks still make it in the playoffs despite losing Giannis. And it seems that a lot of the teams that didn't lose players end up doing the best now. And the Brooklyn Nets are the worst team in the East now with 21 wins. Pistons didn't lose anybody, but they're still one of the worst teams. And going over to the West, it was the Pelicans on top with 62 wins. Then the Clippers, Jazz, Grizzlies, Trailblazers, and Timberwolves. Again, a lot of the teams at the top didn't lose any players. And the worst team in the West is the Thunder. They didn't lose anybody, but they don't do well. Warriors do bad without Steph. Same with the Mavericks and Nuggets without Luka and Jokic. Going to our league leaders now. Bradley Beal dropping 33.3 a game. And we had Jaylen Brown as our second best player. I mean, he's already playing amazing now with Jason Tatum. So it would be interesting to see just how good he'd be without Tatum. Rebounds per game, we had Clint Capella with nearly 15 boards a game. Assists, it was Ben Simmons with 9. I mean, he's finally the star player of that team now. Steals was also Ben Simmons. Blocks, Rudy Gobert with 2.9. Zion shot nearly 70%. And from the three-point line, it was Marcus Morris shooting 44.2%. Trae Young was actually second. Then we had Clay. And let's just hop into the playoffs. We'll start off with these play-in tournaments. You can see the matchups over in the West and also in the East. I'm just going to simulate through the play-in and see which teams make it to the playoffs. In the West, we have the Lakers and the Kings moving on. And in the East, it is the Pacers and the Wizards. Let's go ahead and simulate through round number 1 here. And through round 1, we had the Pelicans defeat the Lakers, Blazers defeat the Grizzlies, Jazz defeat the Timberwolves, and the Kings with a huge upset over the Clippers. Honestly, did not expect that at all. Clippers are still a pretty solid team without Kawhi. And then in the East, Hawks beat the Pacers. The Knicks defeated the Hornets. I was hoping to see LaMelo Ball in the finals, but unfortunately that didn't happen. Celtics defeat the Bucks. And then the Bulls beat the Wizards. Making it to the conference finals in the West, we have the Pelicans and the Jazz. I didn't think the Pelicans would do good this season. Obviously, the Jazz didn't lose anybody, and they're already a great team. So they make the conference finals. And in the East, it's the Hawks and Celtics. I picked the Bulls to win it all, but they have been eliminated. And making it to the NBA Finals, we have the Hawks and the Jazz facing off. Two teams that did not lose a single player. So it's not really that surprising that they make it here. Game 1 goes to the Jazz. Game 2 to the Hawks. Game 3 to the Jazz. Hawks tie it up 2-2. Jazz take the 3-2 lead. And in Game 6, it's a pretty easy W for the Jazz here. It started off as a close game. And then in the second half, the Jazz just dominated. They end up winning by 17 points here. And Finals MVP goes to Donovan Mitchell. Not that big of a surprise. Even though already this season, Rudy Gobert is the front runner for MVP. I don't know why that's a thing. Donovan Mitchell, big finals for him. 33.3 points per game, 5.2 rebounds, 6.2 assists, and he's also a 90 overall. Now, I actually want to check that out. I want to see how many 90s are in the game now after getting rid of all the 90s. So we come over here to all players. Trae Young, Zion, and Bradley Beal, the 3 highest rated players in the NBA now. Then we had Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert at a 90. But anyways, guys, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. This has been your boy Smequle, and I will see you next time. Peace.